and so we have to bring the population this closer, and this needs professional science communication. I'm not skilled for this, I can explain what I think, but we need professional scientists who work with the population, who discuss and also discuss the fear of the population, because there is fear, absolutely, and we have to do this very early on the stage, this discussion, and I can only recommend that science communication is really done in every country for hydrogen economy, to early take really to understand the fears of the population, address the fears, and then offer solutions, understanding, so that a hydrogen economy can really be successful in mainly saturated societies as Europe, Korea already is here, so that we will have a hydrogen economy.
So what do you think is the role of the hydrogen in terms of sector coupling element?
Obviously, Korean, German, I would call it joint ventures, was take over anyhow. So it's a Korean-German company somehow, and this is so successful. But obviously, we have not enough sun during the night. Actually, we have zero sun during the night, and so the question is, how do we then keep our energy system when we have not enough light, or we not enough wind? There's a even German word that's called Dunkelflaute, which has not been adopted, which means no wind and no sun. It's in one word, no wind, no sun. That's called Dunkelflaute. It's now taken over in the American word, Dunkelflaute. And so we need, for this Dunkelflaute, we need essentially something to couple energy, electricity to chemistry. And there obviously the simplest element is hydrogen. Yeah, you can go for other elements, sure, but this is then more complicated and less efficient. So that's the cheapest one, plus and minus in a bottle of water, and then you produce hydrogen, oxygen. Actually, produce also oxygen, also interesting, and produce hydrogen, oxygen, and then you can do what with the hydrogen? You can store it first, and have a storage media. First of all, you store your energy. Some even call hydrogen liquid sunlight, because and that shows the sector coupling, because you have sunlight which you convert to a chemical.
Right, and also we can store hydrogen as ammonia as well, right? So
yes. So hydrogen can be stored differently. You can store hydrogen as hydrogen, either in pressurized state, so you're in pressure bottles. Or you can store hydrogen liquid. As a liquefied, these are the two technologies. Actually, I was involved in the project on liquid hydrogen. Liquid hydrogen has really the problem that it's so cold. It's minus 270 degrees or something like this.
So like storing is also a problem.
Yeah, you have a boil-off rate, so you lose a lot per day. So pressurized will be probably better. But you never know. That's also a topic for research, how to store hydrogen. And then you can go a step further, having Sabatier process or Haber-Bosch process, and store it in form from methanol or in form from ammonia, or even higher molecule. We call all these things now green molecules. We call them green molecules, because we're not quite sure which technology will win. It's not quite clear. For example, ships now, they have made a decision, they want to have methanol. That was international decision, they're going for methanol ships. Okay, then we have other countries like Japan now, or even Europe, they're going for ammonia as transport media. So there are different kind of technology. So we call it green molecules. It's not quite clear which technology will be dominant. This might change actually over time.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell us about the prospects of the hydrogen car and its possibility to potentially replace the combustion engine car?
Yeah, I have to admit, I've also a hydrogen car, actually a Korean one. I'm driving the Hyundai Nexo at home.
Nice, good car.
It's a good car. It's really a good car. Actually, we have only 2 cars currently for passenger cars in Germany, which is the Toyota Mirai and the Hyundai Nexo, which is a bit sad, but now BMW is also having already 1,000 cars in the market, but they are 2 generations behind Hyundai, 2 generations behind, so they have to hurry up now
Yeah.
to have all the knowledge of the things. So,
Yeah.
so hydrogen mobility is because I'm having an electric car as company car. I don't tell you which one, and I have a hydrogen car as private car. So I have both cars, and so I would say from the big difference is the winter. In the winter, the hydrogen car has the same distance as in the summer.
I see.
Electric car has less than half of the distance.
Less than half.
Less than half, due to the internal resistance of the battery and the heating. So this is a big issue actually for the battery cars currently, and that's why they always announce summer distance, winter distance on battery cars now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah.
And they have to solve this issue. And until they have not solved this issue, I think hydrogen car is better if you have a cold winter, if you're in countries where the winter is cold. For example, Korea, you have very cold winter, and your electric car will only drive half of the distance in the winter than in summer. Germany is also cold. In saying North Africa doesn't make sense to have hydrogen cars, their battery cars probably have the same distance all over the year. So there might be technology, regional advantages. Now going away from passenger cars to trucks, probably on truck side, batteries will have a difficult life because we have some limit of how much a track load is maximum with load, and this in Germany is 40 tons. Because if you go about 40 tons, then the street suffers. Then the street construction is only because you have to design a street in such a way that is a maximum load for the street. Otherwise, it cracks. The street cracks. This is 40 tons. So if you have truck and you have already in 40 tons is the maximum, and you have already 10 tons of batteries, then your load can only be 30 tons. So you lose as company when you're having logistics per truck 10 tons, which is not so attractive.
I see.
Hydrogen makes the car lighter because it's lighter than gasoline. So in the truck business, I think there's a lot of agreement that hydrogen will be clearly favorable for trucks than batteries. On the normal car, I would say the battery cars are as good as hydrogen cars, and hydrogen car could be a little bit better in the winter in cold countries. So that's my personal view on this point. From a point of view of value creation in the country, and you are also a highly industrial country, and we are too. Electric car is very simple. It's very simple from the technology. The internal combustion engine, you have very high temperature, and you have technology mainly in Germany where you have had material surface treatments so that the internal combustion engine was optimized over 50, 60 years. And other countries had big trouble to copy these excellent motors, which has been an excellent internal combustion engine because they're so reliable, because they have been optimized on different kind of portions. Now the electric car is very simple in this sense. So it can be easily copied. So there's not so much value generated in the electric car when I take off the battery. The battery has a lot of value, but apart from the battery, it's not so much. The electric motor is not complicated. So on the hydrogen car is again a very complicated. Hydrogen fuel cell is complicated, so it cannot be easily copied. You need a lot of competences. So for highly industrialized country like Korea or Germany, actually that's my personal opinion, the hydrogen fuel cell is much more attractive because it needs highly skilled engineering competences, and a lot of competences.
I see.
So I think for countries like Korea, Germany, where we have these high salaries, fuel cells are more attractive in the long run than I call it cheap, without the battery, cheap electric motors. So that's my view on the points. Therefore, I think that Germany should have much stronger hydrogen strategy, and I'm very proud of Korea that they have so nice car like Nexo, and that's perfect. It's running, very good.
So currently, there are many problems with the lithium-ion battery as a ESS. Do you think potentially ESS with a hydrogen fuel cell system can take over as the new state-of-the-art system?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. But there's one requirement, that is that we have really hydrogen pipeline network. So I don't know the situation here in Korea on the hydrogen pipeline network, but in Germany or in Europe, we have so-called hydrogen backbone now, which has been decided. That's about 53,000 kilometers of hydrogen backbone pipeline all over Europe.
Wow.
Now, the German government will decide after the summer break, 2023, what is the initial net for Germany. The suggestion of the industry is 11,000 kilometers of hydrogen backbone of the 53,000 in Germany.
Okay.
So this is on decision and will be decided autumn 2023 if these 11,000 kilometers will be on. The government suggested like 6,000 kilometers, but the industry is saying 11,000 would be better because then we have all the big industry complexes in Germany connected. So once we have the backbone, we can have the small pipelines, and we will probably have small hydrogen pipelines also in the bigger cities. And not on the countryside. This will be probably too expensive to replace all the gas grids. But in the big cities, we will probably have hydrogen as option for heating, but then obviously also as option for storage, generating electricity, etc. So once you have this, but the requirement is, that's my personal point, that you have this network. This will come, not tomorrow, this will come perhaps then everything is finished, I would say 2035, between 2035 and 2040. And at that period, I'm pretty sure that hydrogen fuel cell or even fuel cells, which are, because if you have high temperature fuel cells, you can go in both directions. You can make SOEC or SOFC, fuel cell electrolyzers, that's possible. You know, the hydrogen car, I've not spoken about, the hydrogen car is not putting hydrogen back into the tank when I'm braking. It puts the energy braking in a battery. So it has a double system, battery and hydrogen. But in the future, we might have technology where when I take the electricity out of the hydrogen, I can also bring it back. And that calls reversible solid oxide cells, RSOC. So this is SOEC or SOFC in one system. In high temperature, that's possible because there's no difference in the catalytic energy, and so you can really go in both directions. And so these are ideas then which can be combined with the storage so that we might have in the long run these kind of systems. But mainly in big cities, I guess that will be very, very attractive to have these, and we will hydrogen. So the German government made the decision that we change our heating and storage system in Germany, and hydrogen is one option. It's clearly in our political strategy is one option. Yeah, it's called hydrogen-ready systems.
I see. So, in the eyes of the public, it seems that hydrogen energy may be dangerous in a way. But you know, there's a lot of I think misunderstanding about hydrogen in general. So, what efforts should we actually do to remove these misunderstanding about hydrogen energy?
Yeah, I think that's a very valuable question, and is probably in our, I would call them saturated societies. Once you solve the technology issues, you have to solve acceptance issues in the population, because we're in a saturated society. You know, in an underdeveloped society, different part in our society, Europe, Korea, where we have a very high standard of living, we have to have, after technology innovation, the acceptance of the population. So, and then first of all, you know, I've always experiments where I take hydrogen and put it just in the room. Hydrogen is non-toxic. You can breathe it. Actually, there are some, you know, water beakers which produce hydrogen by the small kind of electrolyzers on the bottom, and then you have hydrogen-rich water. You know, sometimes you oxygen-rich water, but you can also make yourself hydrogen-rich water, which is dehydrated, so detox for you essentially. So you have to bring, first of all, you have to understand hydrogen is non-toxic. You can drink hydrogen if it's solved. You can breathe hydrogen. There's nothing dangerous with hydrogen actually. Goes through our bones. It's nothing is even helpful for the cells, hydrogen. So there is not an issue on hydrogen, first of all, which is different actually with other fuels. So it's non-toxic. So you can use it. So the second point is obviously people still believe in Germany, you know, we had this Hindenburg with this big Zeppelin ship, this ship which explodes, and that was also based on hydrogen. So this is in some minds, and we have to explain, no, we are now not anymore at 1930s. We are now 100 years later, we have higher security standards, we solve this. And by the way, everybody in Germany, almost everybody, has a natural gas plug in his house. And actually natural gas is as dangerous in this sense, if you think it can burn, as hydrogen. So it's actually only a replacement of natural gas. And this has to be done, but people have to get some feeling for hydrogen. And therefore in Germany, but I can all recommend it, science communication, discussing with the people, explaining, already having experiences in school, playing around with hydrogen, plus and minus in the water, and then it's only oxygen and hydrogen, nothing happens to you, okay? And it's you can just breathe it, it's nothing, it's just, and then at the end it's again water. You know, when I'm driving my hydrogen car, 1 kilo of hydrogen makes 9 kilo of waters. Yeah, just in comes 9 liters of water. 1 kilo is 1 liter, 9 kilo of water. So it's a very harmless technology, and all the exhaust is only water. Yeah, and so we have to bring the population this closer, and this needs professional science communication. I'm not skilled for this, I can explain what I think, but we need professional scientists who work with the population, who discuss and also discuss the fear of the population, because there is fear, absolutely. And we have to do this very early on the stage, this discussion. I can only recommend that science communication is really done in every country for hydrogen economy, to early take really, to understand the fears of the population, address the fears, and then offer solutions, understanding, so that hydrogen economy can really be successful in mainly saturated societies as Europe, Korea already is here, so that we will have a hydrogen economy. That's my hope, at least.
Last question. So, what do you think should be done to achieve a stable hydrogen energy society?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned, I think first of all, for your own society, you need a very good science communication. You have to take everybody with you. But now going on a global level, I believe that the sharing what we have currently with oil, so we have very few oil producing countries and a lot of oil using countries. That is some imbalance in the geopolitics, which makes always problems, you know. I don't want to speak about the problems, but it always made problems. Now the big advantage of a stable hydrogen economy could be that a lot of countries who have a lot of sun, and this could be more than just the OPEC countries, more than the countries who are just producing oil, that could be a lot of opportunities for a lot of countries, and could be a new sharing of trade and sharing of producing hydrogen of the world, and give opportunities to all countries. Those countries, like we have industrialized countries, finding a track, a transformation path to a sustainable economy. But those countries who have a lot of sun and wind, like we call it now the global south, like in the global south, they can have new opportunities, you know, for creating jobs and creating wealth there, and preventing them for dying of hunger. So that gives a lot of opportunities. And I think if one sees this in a more global perspective, I think hydrogen economy can make a more stable global economy, and therefore having less critical issue as we have it now with oil. So I'm very positive that a lot of countries in the world will participate from hydrogen and will produce wealth for their own population.
Well, that's all the questions I have. You know, that was really insightful to me, and I think it would be very insightful to the students as well. Well, thank you very much for being here and answering all these questions. I learned a lot, and I'm sure all the listeners and followers watching this video will learn a lot as well. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.